Stone and Grace. If you're new here, my name is Bristol, and I'm so glad that you're going to spend a few minutes of your day with us. In today's video, we are heading to Goodwill. We are going to Goodwill every day for 5 days. We're going to hopefully find some good stuff, but I don't really have high hopes just because I'm leaving from the time I get off work at 5. It takes me an hour to get to the closest Goodwill to me. And, you know, majority of everything has been brought out and peeked over throughout the day since they opened. But I hope you get your coffee or your favorite beverage and get ready, because let's go thrifting, friends. I will say that walking up, the parking lot seemed a little crowded here for a Monday, but that's totally okay. There was a lot of people inside, but at my advantage, they were mainly in the clothing section, because this Goodwill in Longs really does have a large clothing area. So we had the home goods or the hard goods basically to ourselves for the most time that I was there. I didn't stay too long each night. It was roughly about 30 to 45 minutes. But as we continue on throughout this video, I really want you to pay attention to the items that are on the shelves, because I think you will notice or pick up on what I'm trying to say without letting it out of the bag per se, letting the cat out of the bag per se. I'm not sure if it's everywhere, but there are a lot of items that are at this Goodwill that tend to be left behind, and tend to stay on the shelves for a very long time. little mini series that I think I'm going to do, and it's going to be a mini series because I'm only going to have the time to go after work for a week, and the closest Goodwill to me is 45 minutes away to an hour. It would be an hour from where I work at. So, you know, that's a lot of time and commitment away from my family in the evenings. But I'm going to try to do something new. It's going to be visiting Goodwill every day for 5 days after work or something like that. Now, I'm not going in with a whole lot of expectation or high hopes, just because this one is the one in Long, South Carolina. And if you know anything about this one, then you know that there are people there who camp out, like stay for 7 hours all day long, or they switch out with another reseller that they know, and that person stays there for a couple hours. So, you know, inventory really is hit and miss here. And at this time of the day, they're not always putting out new inventory. There's like only one person in there right now putting stuff out. So I thought I started to film this first day. This is Monday, July the 27th. I started to film this before I walked in, but the parking lot was packed, and that's normal, but it was just overly packed for a Monday evening, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and went in. I did find a couple things, not a whole lot, but I'm going to share with you what I did find. So the first thing that I found was this silver tray. A casserole dish would have fit in here, and you would have had a silver topper or a lid. But it's very seldom that you find these complete. So a lot of people will take use it as like a cutting board or a plant stand. They'll put a piece of wood in it. I do sell these just by themselves. So, you know, I was pretty excited to pick this up. There was a lot of plated silver pieces in there. Some of them were just probably too far tarnished for me to revive. And then there was others that they weren't true silver. So I left those behind. So the next thing I got was some wood cutting boards, and they would necessarily be like for crafts. So I got a couple of them, 2 different sizes. I am doing that vendor event pop-up in November that I told you all about, that I'm really excited for. But a lot of people will hang these on like their peg racks. So I could style these with, you know, something related to fall or maybe Christmas. I'm not exactly sure. But I thought these would be cute. Or I could send them to my friend Dusty. She makes these over and does like a little like a Mod Podge type of thing on there. I'm not exactly sure. But then I got this little lamp base. I don't really have a large clientele of men that come through the booth, but I just thought it was too cool, you know, to pass up. It is signed on the bottom for Don Quiche. Now, he is an artist that makes these. So, you know, I just thought it was cool. If it doesn't work, I can return it and get my money back. But all I gotta do is find a lampshade and a lamp. And I think it would be cool in like a man's office, on his desk or secretary, or even a bar. Anything like that. I think it would be cool. So I picked that up. And then another thing that I picked up is these months frames are really popular. This one is March. I have a September one because my birthday is in September. I am on the hunt for December and an April. My husband's is in December, his birthday, and my children, they were both born in April. So that was my haul. Not a whole lot, but it was still fun, to say the least. Given the expectations that I had going in. You know, you don't really find furniture here. You don't really find a whole lot of artwork or lamps, because a lot of that is coastal. That's why I travel so far away, because everything to me, local to me, like in the town that I live in, I've said it before, but I don't want to thrift in those thrift shops. I want everybody else to get a chance to feel like they have, they're getting a good deal. You know, I don't want to take that away like some resellers do. So I leave the local town thrift stores to everybody else. Now I do shop there for myself, whether or not people believe it or not, I do. But you know, there's other towns over and up, they have their thrift stores and antique malls are plentiful, where you know, in the town that I work and live is not. So I thought about this as a series for content, but so you could also see, maybe if we come every day for a week, we might find something great. I don't know. Who knows? It's always the luck of the draw. But it is 6:49. Of course, I live right after work. It took me an hour to get here, so I got here a little after 6, just with traffic and everything. So I spent about 45 minutes in there, and that's what I walked out with. So I'm gonna come back tomorrow after work, and we'll see what else we can find. Hopefully we'll be able to find, you know, a really good piece or some more small things. Who knows? While editing this video, I realized I didn't have a Tuesday introduction, so I'm pretending this is my Tuesday introduction in past tense. I hope that you're enjoying the video so far, and I hope that you will stick around just to see what we might have found, you know. at Goodwill. Whoa, that sun is brutal. But we are back at Goodwill. We're on day 3. It is July 29th. We're going to head inside. The parking lot's a little bit more crowded today than it was yesterday. So we're going to see what we're going to be able to find. Look how cute this little guy is. Of course, it's just like a stress relief type thing that, you know, a company gives out. But I thought it was cute, especially given Becky just had her first grandson and his name is Arthur. Thought that was just a little nod to him. As you can tell, there's a lot of items that are still on the shelves that were here yesterday and Tuesday. So, like I said, pay attention to the shelves because this is how it honestly looks every time I come. I thought this tray was really cool. I'm not exactly sure. Is this like a embossing, like a hammer detail? It was very heavy, but it didn't really tell anything on the back as far as it being like a pewter or some type of metal that was like shined. And what do y'all think about Temptations? I see Temptations all the time in thrift stores. This one, of course, has seen better days, but is this something that you all collect? Because I'm not familiar with the popularity of it. Like, I don't know if people use it or not use it. So, you know, I would just love to know. So we are back at Goodwill. It is Thursday, July the 30th. Yeah, Thursday, July the 30th. there wasn't really a whole lot in there. I did film, but as you have seen this week, that the items on the shelf are some of the same items that were on the shelf whenever I started filming on Monday. But we did get two things. I was looking for a lamp for a, if you remember back, I think it was like the second day that I came, we found that, the golf base lamp that was by what, Don Quiche, maybe. Anyway, I needed a lampshade for it. I've been looking for one. If not, I have a cream color one that probably would be more manly, but I don't know, we'll see. I might replace it, but I did pick up this shade. I really thought that these colors were pretty. If not, I have a rooster lamp that it might work on, we'll see. And then I just got this vintage coffee mug. It was made in Taiwan. It is, you can tell it on the bottom, it is stamped. I haven't really hit any jackpots this week, which is okay. Like I said, I wasn't expecting to, because I am coming after 5 o'clock every day. I usually get here about 6 o'clock, so a full hour. You know, a couple of days whenever I've walked out with maybe one or two things, I have bought something every day. It may not be a huge something or a huge haul, but I have purchased something every day. But I have contemplated heading down the road 20 minutes to the other Goodwill, but that just puts me 20 minutes further getting home. And I'm not exactly sure that I want to do that. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday is usually busy at Goodwill's. I have found that here, Tuesday and Thursdays, at this one here in Little River in Longs, on number 9, however you want to say it, Little River Longs, whatever, it is not too busy. So Monday and Wednesdays have been a lot of people in the parking lot. And I know on Thursdays in Shiloh at the Christian Rehab CRCI thrift store, they have senior day on Thursdays. So I'm not exactly sure if that's why or whatever the case may be. But at least we bought something to turn around for profit for the booth every day. friends, it is our 5th and final day of coming to Goodwill every day. And today we walked out with absolutely nothing. Everything that was in there from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, still there today. And anything new that was coming out, there is a lady that is in there all the time. There is these group of resellers, and they hang out in Goodwill, sometimes 7 hours, and they take turns. If somebody has to leave, one will stay, come back, the other one will leave. I have physically seen people eating their dinner on furniture. Now, I am real picky. Like, I don't even want my kids to go near it or touch it or anything, because I fear the unknown of whatever could be in there, and we bring it home. And I don't do that. But I have seen them eat their dinner on these furniture pieces, waiting on new inventory, and I wish I would have filmed it, but I didn't. But this one said lady with her dog often like looks in the door of where all the buggies are, where the employees would be like bringing out the inventory. But I didn't film it. I did catch a snippet of her going through the buggy with the employee. Now, remember, you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to get anything until the person puts it on the shelf. You're not supposed to, dig through a buggy whenever it comes out, or whatever the case may be. This Goodwill did away with that a long time ago. They used to ring a bell, bring out a cart or a buggy or whatever it was, and free for all. Now you have to wait till the employee puts it on the shelf, but said employee, as I have said before, they let these folks, I guess because they camp out here for all day, they let them pick and choose what they want to out their buggy before it gets on the shelf. So, at that point, there is no point in staying, because even if something good did come out, I'm not going to get it. So, it is July 31st. It is 6:24 p.m. And I might run to Charlotte to the Hobby Lobby. I'm not exactly sure. There are some fall right now is 40% off. I'm not thinking about fall. I'm not ready to decorate for fall. But if you know anything about the florals, you have to get them early. So that, I think that's what I might do, is might run and get a few of those. But while this week has been fun, I don't think it's been very beneficial with the time away from my family and the gas that I've had to spend. And at home, I'm missing so much that I do in the evening time to prepare for the next day. So I probably will not do this series again for a while, at least. I'll just stick to Saturdays. Saturdays and the weekends are really my only days to source inventory, because, like, as you will have seen in the footage, it's not worth it. The quality or value of items are not out there during this time of the day. So as much as I would love to be able to visit these places during the day while my kiddos are will be in school coming up, I can't do that. I have to work. So even though it is taken away from my weekends with them, it is all towards a better picture, a bigger picture, a goal that we have. So I appreciate you all so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. I know it kind of wasn't anything exciting, like I didn't find a holy grail item or anything like that, but it's something new. I haven't been to a Goodwill in a very long time. One, because I just don't have the time. You know, by the time I get to a Goodwill on the weekend, it's after all the yard sales or estate sales or thrift stores. So a lot of the items on the shelves are peeked over, and what's left is just really junk, as you can see. So until next time, friends, I appreciate you all for being here, for sticking out the video with me, for watching the ads, for subscribing, liking, and sharing, commenting. It means the world to me. Until next time, friends, happy thrifting.